Hey guys, welcome back to Mage the Ascension Refuge, the well-written World of Darkness game. Alright, such a dick. Continue. Alright, day 4, Sunday, and there's a tarot card there. The lovers. For the longest time I thought they were called tarot cards. I sounded like a goddamn idiot whenever I talked about them. It happened again. A blog post in the middle of the night. You have no idea how that happened, but it rings true. What it says has truth in it. That was redundant. You leave it as is. You spend Sunday afternoon with Alex at the little makerspace. There's not a lot of activity there today, which is unusual. Most of the time the place is crammed. Today it's just Alex and some other guy working on it at the 3D printer. Alex is working on something complicated that has to do with modding Nekomimi, moving cat ear diadems that respond to brainwaves. Okay. He looks very endearing where he sits, tall body folded into a little stool like a benevolent insect. Hi, you say. Alex looks up at you and smiles. He's got smudges of superglue all over his Miskatonic University Miskatonic U! Represent. Wait, this isn't Call of Cthulhu. Jules, he says, and reaches out for a hug. You give him a kiss. He tastes of tobacco and coffee. Gross. So you're not mad about Friday night, you say? Not anymore, but you stupid, Alex says and gently headbutts you. Don't do stupid things. You headbutt him back. I promise. You look at the mess on the table in front of him. How's the project? It's okay, Alex nods to himself. Yeah, it's okay. You busy yourself with your laptop while Alex fiddles with some circuits and a soldering iron. It's a restful sort of silence. Eventually your stomach rumbles. You forgot lunch. Also, your wrist hurt. I'm going to be off, you tell Alex. Will you come home with me? You ask. If you're done. I'd love to, Alex says, but I've got a date with Eric, remember? Ah, so he does. Alright, you say. Monday? Alex nods. Monday. You leave him like you found him, blissfully assembling arcane machinery. I guess I'll select bike home, because there are no other options. The rain rakes your face like needles. In this town, you're somehow always going against the wind. It's only afternoon, but it's already getting dark. Headlights gleam through the drops. Tires hiss on wet asphalt. Is that like an alternative spelling for tires, or is that I don't? You take the shortcut through Pilldam Park, but it's not yet too dark to find your way. You almost fall off your bike as the chain slips off. Shit, you're in the middle of the trees, next to a little art installation that vaguely resembles glowing hippos resting on the ground. I'm kind of imagining like a giant version of Hungry Hungry Hippos. And it's amazing. Someone is sitting on one of the luminous humps. I'm sorry, I know I just paused for an aside, but I think we all need to stop and just appreciate the phrase luminous humps. He gets up as you hop off the bike. Hey, you recognize Gabriel's voice. Hey, you say. Fancy meeting you here. Bike trouble? You nod. Bike trouble. You can smell him from here. Nag Champa and sweat. I'm afraid I'm not very good with bikes, he says. It's okay, you say. I'll walk it home. I'll walk you, he replies, and just like that, he's next to you. Cigarette? He holds one out. It might be the cold, the dark, or your frustration. You normally don't smoke, but for some reason you have a craving. Thanks. It's a clove cigarette. You haven't had one in ages. It crackles as you inhale, leaving a sugary residue on your lips. Oh, Gabriel says and touches your arm. I've been thinking about you since the last time we met. I'd like to show you something. Up close, his smell is almost overpowering. You move away slightly. What? A secret. Darkness has almost fallen now in the light of the street lamps illuminating patches of the ground where you walk. You cross one of the roads that lead to the park, then head for the little hedge space pretentiously named Galatea's Grove. Have you ever noticed that these hedges are hollow? Gabriel says. He stops you just as you pass through an opening in one of the sides. He's right. The hedge is maybe 3 meters wide. In the middle is a dark space. Aren't you curious about what's inside? Let's see. You're cold and he's weird, and you're not interested? Yeah, kind of. On the one hand, Gabriel is a creeper. On the other hand, I get the feeling I could probably just rewind time. I'm probably gonna blow myself up rewinding time one of these days, but fuck it. What's the harm? It's just a hedge. Fair enough, you say, and park the bike. This way, fair maiden, Gabriel says and holds out a hand. I regret this already. Inside the hedge, the background noise of the town fades into the dark. All you can hear is the shuffle of your feet on earth and raindrops in the foliage. It makes the noise the color of bruises. Gabriel's hand is dry and hot in yours. Just a little further in, he says. That's what she said. Oh, sorry. You walk on until you reach the corner that faces the road outside. There's a slightly bigger space here, big enough for the two of you to stand upright and next to each other. Are you ready to see something? Gabriel says. What's something? You ask. A hedge is a border between two places, Gabriel says. A threshold. This is a very special threshold. I would like to cross it with you to a very special place. I didn't know we were playing Changeling the Lost. Excuse me. His voice is hypnotic. The smell of incense and musky sweat envelops you. You're not sure where your skin ends and his begins. Gabriel leans in close and whispers something in a language you don't understand. He suddenly takes your face in his hands and smears something warm and coppery on your eyelids. Like the beast said, come and see, he says and grabs your arm. He leads you out through a hole in the hedge. You're back in Galatea's Grove, but not. The streetlights are gone. The city is gone. You are on a plain. Around you, the hedges flicker in and out of space. Above, the sky has suddenly cleared. There are too many stars. They ripple as if vast shapes swim among them. The noise of pipes and drums comes floating in on the breeze, the staccato rhythm that pulls at your chest. The statue of Galatea has changed, subtly. There's something about her shape that makes the mind tilt. She's a Promethean! What? This game is just keeps reminding me of the Chronicles of Darkness games, which... As I've said before, I prefer Chronicles of Darkness to World Darkness in most cases. So... yeah. Okay. There are worlds beyond the one you know, Gabriel whispers. This place you call reality is just a claustrophobic little corner. I could show you so much more. I could show you the worlds. He points in the distance. A dark hill rises up against the starry sky. On top of it stands what looks like a Ferris wheel, adorned with colorful lights. They're waiting, he says. Come with me. Wait, what? Wasn't I already there? I was already at the Ferris wheel place. They asked if I was dead. And now that I think about it, the bureaucrat people asked if I was dead, too. People in these other worlds seem really, really concerned about whether or not I'm dead. One sec. My roommate needed me to move my car so she could get out of the driveway, but we're good now. When you were little, you had an aching sensation that there was a hole in the world, that somewhere else was waiting. This is it. This is really it. Exclamation points. Yes! No! Yes! 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 Just trying to do that M. Bison meme. Yes, you have always known it was true. This reality is a shell, a piece of flat scenery behind which hide worlds full of terror and wonder. You knew it as a child, then forgot as time passed and you slid into gray adulthood. Isn't this the premise of Changeling and Dreaming? And here it is. It was waiting for you the whole time, waiting for you to let it in. The sound of voices is louder and braying music an uneven beat. Light blooms and fades, leaving tracks across your vision. Gabriel pulls you close and kisses you hard on the mouth. Bad touch. You bite into his lower lip and taste blood. Gross. It's time to join the carnival, Gabriel whispers. He takes you by the hand and you take a giant step toward the town with the Ferris wheel. A press of bodies... Oh, okay. I'm dead, apparently. Why? Why did I die? I did. Okay, so, let's not go with Gabriel this time. Fuck that guy. See, that's the thing, like, it switched to, like, the You Are Dead screen, like, immediately. And, before I could even read how I died, so I have no idea, like, what exactly killed me. I'm sure that, like, after this recording, I can just pause the video and read it. That's a weird, weird interface decision. You're cold, he's weird, and you're not interested. Actually, you know what? I think I'll go with him, but I'll refuse to go to the, the Ferris wheel. Alright. No! You've been drugged. The cigarette. You stumble away from him. You're crazy. Gabriel lets out a low laugh. You say tomato, I say tomato. He holds out a hand to you. Come on, we're holding a funeral for civilization. It'll be great. The sound of voices becomes louder and braying music an uneven beat. Light blooms and fades, leaving tracks across your vision. Do you know what the word carnival means? Gabriel says with a voice that coats you in roses. It means farewell to the flesh. That's what we're doing. Farewell, flesh. That's creepy. You shake your head. Your brain rattles, jangling electric shocks. You take out your phone. Rewind? How do you even phone? Why is the display rippling? Gabriel comes closer. Shit. Run. What's the Galatea statue? The prayer beads. Whoa, boom. Prayer beads. They're in the pocket of your parka. You take them out. They shimmer in the starlight. Nizar! Mona! You shout. Help! You're calling on them, Gabriel says. You don't know what you're doing. He comes closer and closer. You stumble backwards. The beads vibrate in your hands, singing like damp fingers on a glass. There's a sudden pressure on your head, and your ears pop. Stop right there! Mona's voice. You turn around. Mona and Nizar are standing behind you, hands joined. Gabriel abruptly comes to a halt. They will ruin you, he says, and his voice breaks with despair. They will ruin everything. Get behind us, Julia, Nizar says calmly. Get behind us, Julia, Nizar says calmly. This one is ours. You throw yourself behind Nizar and Mona, who keep their eyes fixed on Gabriel. This woman is under our protection, Mona says. Gabriel laughs. Your protection? Your time is over. It's our turn now. We'll see about that, Mona replies. So I think Gabriel's a Nefandi, and I think, like, Mona and Nizar are part of the traditions, and then Rike's, like, technocracy. I think that's what's going on. Nizar claps his hands once, a sharp crack, and calls out in Arabic. Mona calls out a response. Suddenly, the grove is full of people. No, not just people. The grove is full of Monas and Nizars, all standing in a ring around Gabriel, hands joined. As you watch, they begin to circle Gabriel. You can't tell which ones are the real Mona and Nizar. Gabriel tries to break out of the circle, but is thrown back as if by an electric fence. The circle spins faster and faster. They're chanting now, the same words over and over again. Nizar calling out in their baritones. Baritones? Baritones. I got thrown. Is that an alternate spelling? Or am I just, like, stupid? Or is that, like, just a... I don't know. Mona's soprano's responding. You can't stop me, Gabriel shouts. He raises his arms and opens his mouth. Something between a scream and a song emerges. He sings the world out of focus. He claps a rhythm. That was me clapping. The crack of his palms like explosions, and your heart skips along to the beat. That was a really bad clap. I'm going to redo that. That's better. Like my fingers hit each other before my palms. And so it sounded like crap and also kind of hurt my fingers. It shears through Mona and Nazar's song, and they flicker, coalescing into themselves again next to you. Then the revelers are there, in a wave of frankincense and burnt sugar and the beat and the carnival, creatures and uncreatures in silk and sweat and jewels. Teeth gleaming, eyes burning, a procession of terror and wonder. Gabriel's laugh is a burst of copper bells. He laughs and then screams as the revelers lift him up, kiss him, tear at him, pull him apart. He disappears in the press of bodies. 2 pairs of hands lead you away. Not stars, but branches overhead. Streetlights filtering through the foliage. Water dripping on white beam leaves. Your bike standing in the rain. The way home feels shorter than it should have. The siblings walk on each side of you. Nazar leads the bike. Your hands don't quite seem to work. You're shivering uncontrollably. What the fuck happened, you ask? Where did I just go? Sideways, Mona says. There are parts of this world that are invisible to normal people, Nazar fills in. You stepped into one of those parts. It's a good thing you called us. That could have ended very badly. But who is he? A perversion, Mona says. But you don't have to worry about him anymore. Let's get you home. You're not sure how they found the way, but there's your apartment building, and there's your front door. Where are you staying, you say? We found some friends. We'll be alright. They leave you at the front door and walk away in the rain, hand in hand. Some of what Gabriel said rang true. You're so lucky to have Mona and Nazar. Okay, so I kind of want to pick the first option, but I'm not sure like which parts of what Gabriel said are supposed to have rang true to me. Well, let's find out, shall we? The vision of the carnival refuses to leave you. There are worlds behind the world, and it wants to be let in. Reality is so much bigger than you thought. Were you drugged? What kind of drug was that? Or are you actually going crazy? You've been seeing all kinds of fucked up things, even before tonight. There's bipolar disorder in your There's bipolar disorder in your family. What if you're having a psychotic episode? How does one know, anyway? You need some sense of normalcy. Tea is good. So tired, just go to bed. Some sense of normalcy. Making tea and curling up in the sofa with Kate Bush playing makes you feel better. For a short moment, you can pretend none of this happened. You look at the time. It's not too late to call Mom. Mom wants to know how work is going, if you're taking care of yourself, if your boyfriend is doing okay. She rattles off a list of things that are happening at home. She picked the last funnel chanterelles for the season. Your big sister's got a new job. Her kids are doing well. Your father misses you. Won't you come and visit soon? When you hang up, you feel more normal than you have in a long time. You might even be able to sleep. Tomorrow is a work day after all. Okay, so I just want to say, contrast that, like that scene with the little children scene in the vampire game. This one was actually comprehensible. It was still like poetic and descriptive, but not like, it didn't overdo it in such a way that you couldn't follow what was going on. That the descriptions of the revelers made sense in a way that the descriptions of the murder children did not. Like, you could follow the action in that sequence. like, the language was still, like, poetic and still, like, kind of, like, yeah, it was still, like, it still got pretty flowery, but it wasn't to the point that it became incomprehensible. Yes. Like, it was still clear what was happening. So yeah. Yeah, I really like the bad impression from the glitchy first attempt at recording this aside, that did leave a bad first impression. But I really like this game. I really like it like a lot more than the vampire one. Like the vampire one, I enjoy it kind of in the sense of this is incredibly unintentionally hilarious, like the greatest comedy ever. But this one, it's actually like achieving the tone it's going for. It works. It works in a way that the vampire game doesn't. It's just so much better written. So yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys next video. I'm going back to the vampire game that I just talked a bunch of shit about. All right. See you guys.